Are you applying abroad? Are you confused about which colleges to apply to? Well then, you're watching the right video. Hey, this is Zunaid, and today's topic is something which is often overlooked in the application process. That's college selection. Deciding which colleges to apply to is very important because it'll be your home for the next 4 to 5 years. We often make the mistake of applying to many universities without prior research. For example, you heard it from a friend and you're like, why not just apply there? It is more likely when you're applying to the United States by a common app. What happens is, your fee waiver allows you to apply to about 20 universities free of cost. And because of this, you don't put much thought into it. I made the very same mistake. I applied to a lot of top tier universities like UT Austin, UCLA. These are very good schools. However, my top priority was to get a considerable amount of scholarship or financial aid. But these schools offer little to no scholarships or aid to international students. As you can see, these schools weren't the best fit for me. So before making this major decision, I want you guys to consider 4 things before applying. Shortlisting priorities. We are unclear about our priorities, and that leads us to making wrong university selections. To overcome this, list down top 3 priorities and the things that matter the most to you. For me, it was scholarship, location, and employment rate after graduation. For you, it could be anything depending on you and your preferences. But make sure you take into account where you stand financially before applying. After you've listed down your priorities, you could begin your college search according to your criteria. So, if one of your priorities is getting a substantial amount of scholarship or financial aid, then you should apply to universities which offer more scholarships or financial aid to international students. Or if one of your priorities is to get a permanent residence, then you should focus more on Canadian or Australian universities. So firstly, get your priorities straight. Number 2, RMS, Reach, Match and Safety. Reach universities are those which are more like your dream schools, and these are mostly the top tier ones. I recommend you guys to apply to about 3 Reach universities. Next comes Match. Match universities are those whose requirements you fulfill. So a majority of your application should be for Match universities. I recommend you guys to apply to about 6 Match universities. And lastly, Safety. Safety universities are those where you're more likely to get into. And as the name suggests, these are your backup universities. I recommend you guys to apply to about 3 safety schools. Applying to each university is a lot of work. You need to write tons of supplemental essays. So if you think you're someone who can give 100% effort for 20 applications, well then, go for it. But keep one thing in mind, it's always quality over quantity. One of the most frequently asked questions are about liberal arts colleges because applicants do not know much about them. Liberal arts colleges are mostly private schools with a small student population, which means the student to faculty ratio is very good. And so, the education there is very diverse. It is true that the financial aid provided by LACs are more, but however, they are very selective. I plan to make a more detailed, separate video in the future about LACs versus STEM. 4. Backup country. If you plan on pursuing your education abroad, you want to apply to more than one country. If something went wrong, let's say you didn't get your visa for US, you still have the option to study at, let's say, Australia or Canada, provided that you applied there. Lastly, I strongly advise you all to apply early because that increases your chances to get into your desired universities. I hope this video helped you all. Best of luck and thank you so much.